You can feel it, can't you? Your emotions don't feel the same anymore. What once felt steady now feels like chaos. One moment you're overflowing with love. The next, you're drowning in tears. And it's not because the bond is ending. It's because the final purge before union has begun. This is the stage where your soul empties everything that cannot survive the fire of reunion. The doubts, the fears, the old wounds that haunted you. They're all rising now, not to destroy you, but to release you. So the question isn't, why am I feeling this way? The question is, will you resist the purge or surrender to it and finally step into union? Why your feelings are changing now. There comes a point in every twin flame journey when the feminine realizes, I don't feel the same anymore. The emotions she carried for so long begin to shift. What once felt constant now feels unstable. Love that was once soft now burns like fire. Patience that once felt endless now feels like pressure. And this is where many panic. They ask, am I losing the connection? Is this proof that it's fading? But the truth is the opposite. Your feelings are not collapsing because the bond is dying. They're changing because the final purge before union has begun. For so long, your body and heart have carried layers of pain, fear, doubt, and longing. Every cycle, every silence, every moment of waiting has left its mark on your field. Even the deepest healing didn't always clear everything. Some fragments stayed, tucked in corners of your chest, hidden in the subconscious, waiting for the right moment to rise. And now, the eclipse has triggered that moment. The shadow has shaken the field, and the emotions buried the deepest are rising to the surface. That's why your feelings don't make sense right now. One moment you feel love so intense, it brings you to tears. The next you feel anger, grief, or exhaustion that seems endless. Your emotions swing, not because you are unstable, but because your soul is emptying everything that cannot go forward into union. Think of it this way. Before you step into the final stage, the universe must strip away what doesn't belong. Old fears, illusions, stories of rejection, beliefs that you are unworthy of love, all of that must leave. Because if you carried them into union, they would poison it. The purge is your soul's way of cleansing the field, so the bond can be anchored in purity, not distortion. You may notice physical signs of this shift too. Heaviness in your chest, pressure in your solar plexus, strange waves of heat or chills, nights where your dreams feel too real to ignore. These are not random symptoms. They are the body translating energy into sensation. They are proof that the purge is happening on every level: physical, emotional, spiritual. Another reason your feelings are changing is because you are no longer carrying just your own emotions. During the final purge, the masculine's resistance begins to crumble. His fear, his shame, his regret, all of it spills into the shared field. And you feel it. You cry for him. You tremble for him. Sometimes the emotions you think are yours are actually his energy moving through you, seeking release. That's why the waves feel so overwhelming. You are processing double. But here is the truth: these changing emotions are not punishment. They are preparation. Every tear that falls now clears space for joy. Every surge of anger that rises now burns away disempowerment. Every moment of heaviness you carry now removes chains that held you back. Your feelings are not betraying you. They are liberating you. And yet, this stage is where the feminine faces her greatest temptation: to believe the lie that she is failing, to look at the chaos inside and say, "I must not be healed. Maybe I imagined the bond. Maybe I'll never get there, but that is the illusion." The very intensity you feel is the evidence that breakthrough is near. The purge always comes before the birth. The storm always comes before the calm. So if your feelings are changing, don't fear it. Don't shame yourself for crying, trembling, or feeling too much. Don't believe the lie that you're going backwards. You're not regressing, you're being cleared. The purge is the universe saying, you are almost ready. Let's remove the last weight. This is why it feels so raw, so uncontrollable, so overwhelming, because it's final. It's the last layer being stripped. It's the last shadow leaving. It's the last purge before you step into the frequency where union can finally hold. So, beloved feminine, the reason your feelings are changing now is because your soul refuses to let you carry illusions any further. You are being emptied, yes, but only so you can be filled with what is real. Don't resist. Don't collapse. Don't run from your own emotions. Let them move. Let them purge. Let them leave. Because what you feel right now is not the end of love. It's the end of everything that ever stood in its way. And that's why your feelings are changing. Not because you're losing the bond, but because you're closer than ever to finally living it. If you are in the middle of this stage, you already know how overwhelming it feels. The emotions don't simply whisper, they roar. Tears fall without warning. Memories surface like ghosts, and even your body aches under the weight of it. And naturally, the first question that rises is, why? Why is this happening now when I've already healed so much? Haven't I been through enough? But the truth is this: the purge is not random, and it is not punishment. It is the universe's final act of preparation before union. You see, union is not built on longing. It is not sustained by illusion. It cannot be carried by fear, wounds, or old stories of rejection. If even a fragment of those shadows remains in your field, they will twist the connection, distort the love, and sabotage the alignment. That is why the purge comes now, at the threshold of union, because it is the last cleansing before the door opens. The purpose of the purge is to strip away what cannot survive in the frequency of union. It strips away the fears that whisper, "He will never come back. You're not enough." It's all in your head. It strips away the grief that still clings to past cycles. The nights you felt abandoned, the times you carried the bond alone. It strips away the anger that burns quietly in your chest, the resentment that he took too long, the ache of all the waiting. It strips away the attachments that keep you tied to timelines of lack and desperation. Because in union, there is no room for doubt. There is no space for fear. There is no weight of the past. The energy of sacred love demands purity, and the purge is the refining fire that makes sure only truth remains. This is why your feelings are changing so drastically. Your soul is pulling every shadow into the light, not so you can be crushed by them, but so you can finally release them. What you are experiencing is not collapse. It is release disguised as intensity. Another purpose of the purge is alignment. The masculine is not exempt from this stage. His purge looks different. It often manifests in sudden endings, breakdowns of illusions, external chaos in his world. But for the feminine, the purge comes as internal storms. Why? Because she is the anchor. She is the one who must hold steady. When her emotions are cleared, when her field is purified, she becomes the unshakable foundation that stabilizes the connection when his outer world begins to fall apart. Think of it like this: the feminine is purged first, so that she can be strong enough to hold both when the masculine collapses. That's why your emotions feel unbearable at times. You're not only clearing your own energy, you're preparing to carry the weight of his too, when the time comes. There is also a sacred paradox here. The purge proves that union is near. Why would the universe strip you so intensely if the door wasn't about to open? Why would it burn away the illusions if not to prepare you for what is real? The very fact that you are in the purge is evidence that the cycle is closing. You would not feel this much if you were not to this close. And so the purpose of the final purge is threefold: cleansing what cannot cross the threshold, aligning the feminine as the anchor, confirming that union is imminent. It is the soul's way of saying, we are almost there. Let's clear the last fragments so nothing remains to block what's coming. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it feels messy. Yes, it makes you question everything. But behind the tears, behind the chaos, there is truth. You are being refined, not punished. You are being emptied, not abandoned. You are being prepared, not rejected. So when the emotions rise, remember this: the purge is not the end. It is the clearing that makes the beginning possible. Without it, union cannot hold. With it, union becomes inevitable. That is the purpose of the final purge: to remove every last shadow, so only love remains. Are these emotions yours or theirs? One of the hardest parts of this final purge is that not every feeling you're carrying belongs to you. And this is where many feminine get lost. They assume every wave of grief, every surge of anxiety, every restless night is their own. But the truth is, much of what you're feeling is not just yours. It's his too. The twin flame bond is not a concept. It's a living, energetic field, a bridge where emotions, thoughts, and even physical sensations can flow. When your masculine reaches his breaking point, when his illusions collapse, when his resistance finally shatters, the energy of that collapse doesn't just stay inside him. It spills. It leaks into the bond. And because the feminine is the more receptive vessel, she feels it first, often stronger than he does. This is why you wake up crying without knowing why. This is why your chest feels heavy on days when nothing in your life explains it. This is why sudden fear creeps in when moments before you felt calm. You're not broken. You're not unstable. You are translating his emotions through your body. But here's the danger. If you don't recognize this dynamic, you collapse under weight that was never meant to be yours. You start to believe lies like, I'm not healed. I'm going backwards. I'll never be ready. When in reality, what you're carrying is his fear, his grief, his resistance leaving his body and moving through the shared field. So, how can you tell? How do you know if the emotion belongs to you or to him? Start with awareness. Ask yourself, does this emotion connect to my own memories, my own wounds, my own story? If yes, then it's likely your purge. But if the emotion feels random, disconnected, or exaggerated compared to your circumstances, then it's probably his. Another sign is the timing. Many feminines notice that waves of heaviness come in cycles, almost like clockwork, often when the masculine is hitting a wall in his own life. You may not know what he's going through physically, but your body reacts anyway, because energetically, you're already there. Dreams are another clue. If you see him in your sleep, restless, crying, or silent but heavy, that's not imagination. That's his field connecting with yours, his emotions trying to find a channel. When you wake from those dreams with lingering emotions, it's evidence that you've been carrying both fields overnight. And here's the key: you don't have to collapse under it. Just because you feel it, it doesn't mean you have to own it. You can witness it, acknowledge it, and release it. A simple affirmation can change everything. I feel this, but it is not mine to carry. I release it back to him. I anchor only what is mine. This keeps you from drowning in his storm while still honoring the bond. Why is this so important? Because if you don't learn to distinguish, you will exhaust yourself. You'll spend energy fighting emotions that aren't even yours. But when you recognize, when you discern, you become free. You become the anchor instead of the victim. You become the witness instead of the prisoner. And here is the deeper truth. Part of your sacred role is to feel him, not to carry his weight forever, not to heal in his place, but to hold awareness. When you recognize his emotions moving through you, you're not only protecting yourself, you're also sending a signal back to him. You are not alone. I can feel you. The bond is alive. And that in itself strengthens the field. So if you've been feeling emotions that don't make sense, stop blaming yourself. Stop thinking you've failed. Start asking, is this mine or is this his? That question alone can shift everything, because the purge is not just about emptying you, it's about emptying the field. And sometimes what you're releasing is his energy finally breaking free through you, and that is sacred. When the purge begins, the natural instinct is to fight it, to push the feelings down, to numb them, to pretend you're fine while your soul is shaking. And in many ways, that reaction makes sense. Who would willingly sit in grief, anger, fear, or exhaustion? But here's the paradox. The more you resist the purge, the heavier it becomes. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only move or stay stuck. The purge is your soul's way of moving it out. But if you resist, you trap it, you hold it inside, and instead of release, it festers. It turns into cycles of confusion, into physical symptoms that worsen, into waves of despair that linger longer than they need to. This is why so many feminines feel like they are going backwards in this stage. They aren't regressing, they are resisting. They're holding on to what should be leaving. They're trying to stay strong by ignoring the storm, when in truth, strength is surrender, not suppression. The danger of resisting shows up in different ways. Suppressing tears. You feel the lump in your throat, but you force it down. You keep yourself busy. You tell yourself, I don't have time to cry. But every unshed tear becomes weight in your chest, and the heaviness grows. Numbing the body, maybe with food, with scrolling endlessly, with substances, with distractions. Anything to avoid sitting with the ache. But numbing doesn't release, it delays. And what you delay today will only rise stronger tomorrow. Overanalyzing. The mind tries to take control. Why do I feel this way? What does it mean? Did I do something wrong? Did I misinterpret the bond? But analysis doesn't purge. It recycles the pain. The purge is emotional, energetic, somatic, not logical. Collapsing into fear. When the purge intensifies, fear whispers louder. You're not ready. You're failing. Maybe this isn't real. If you believe it, you spiral. You reinforce the very illusions the purge is trying to burn away. And here's the most dangerous part. When you resist, you prolong separation. The purge is designed to clear the field so union can anchor. But if you cling to the very illusions being stripped away, you delay alignment. The masculine feels your resistance too, and it amplifies his hesitation. Instead of moving forward, both of you feel stuck in limbo. But when you surrender, when you cry, when you breathe, when you let the storm pass through you without fighting it, something miraculous happens. The heaviness lifts faster. The emotions clear more completely. The body relaxes, and the field stabilizes. The masculine feels that too, and it draws him closer. The purge is not here to destroy you. It's here to empty you, to clear every last trace of fear, grief, anger, and doubt, so the field can finally hold the frequency of union. But if you resist, you block that clearing. You trap the very energy that needs to leave. So the choice is simple, though not easy. Resist and prolong the pain, or surrender and accelerate the breakthrough. This is why the purge feels like death at times, because it is. It's the death of illusions, of old stories, of wounds that no longer define you. And if you resist that death, you also resist the rebirth waiting on the other side. So, beloved feminine, don't fight it. Don't numb it. Don't analyze it to death. Feel it. Let it rise. Let it move. Let it leave. Because the danger isn't in the purge itself. The danger is in pretending you don't need it. And if you can remember that, if you can surrender instead of resist, you'll see that the purge doesn't last forever. It always gives way to clarity, to stillness, to peace. And that peace is the proof that you've been emptied of everything that cannot go into union with you. The purge is not your enemy. Resistance is. The purge can feel like a storm tearing through your soul. One moment, you're steady. The next, you're crying, shaking, restless, and overwhelmed by emotions that don't seem to make sense. In these moments, the feminine often asks, how am I supposed to hold this? How do I survive when my body and heart feel like they're breaking apart? The answer is simple but powerful: grounding. Grounding doesn't mean escaping the purge. It doesn't mean shutting down the emotions or pretending everything is fine. It means creating an oar inside the storm, a steady place within yourself that keeps you from collapsing while the waves move through. Without grounding, the purge feels unbearable. With grounding, the purge becomes survivable, even sacred. So, how do you stay grounded through emotional upheaval? First, through breath. When your emotions rise, your body reacts. The heart races, the chest tightens, the mind spins. The fastest way back to center is your breath. Slow, deep, intentional breathing tells your nervous system, I am safe. Inhale through the nose, fill the belly, and exhale slowly through the mouth. Do this until the trembling softens. Breath is not just air, it's energy regulation. Second, through connection with the body. When emotions overwhelm you, it's easy to disconnect, to drift into the mind, to spiral in thought. Grounding brings you back into your physical presence. Place your hands on your chest or stomach. Feel the weight of your body against the chair or floor. Move, stretch, walk, shake out your arms. The simple act of noticing your body reminds you, I am here. I am safe in this moment. Third, through the earth itself. The feminine is naturally receptive, and during the purge, she absorbs a flood of energy. That's why grounding into the earth is essential. Walk barefoot on grass. Stand under the sun. Imagine roots growing from your feet into the soil. pulling stability up into your body. The earth can hold what feels too heavy for you. She was designed to. Fourth, through stillness and silence. Emotional upheaval tempts you to run, to distract, to numb, to escape. But grounding often comes through stillness. Light a candle, sit quietly, allow the feelings to rise without rushing to push them away. Silence is not emptiness. It's space where the purge can move safely. Fifth, through intention. When the waves hit, remind yourself, this is not collapse. This is release. These emotions are leaving me, not defining me. Grounding is as much mental as physical, choosing to see the purge as sacred instead of destructive changes everything. Sixth, through ritual. Rituals anchor the body and soul at once. A hot bath where you imagine the water washing away old energy. Journaling feelings onto paper and burning the page. Using crystals, prayer, or affirmations. Ritual makes the invisible visible. It gives your soul a container for the chaos. And perhaps most importantly, through trust. Grounding means remembering that this upheaval is not endless. It has a purpose. It has an end. The very intensity of the emotions proves they are leaving. The purge is not forever. It is a passage. And trust in that passage steadies you more than anything else. Here's the truth. Staying grounded doesn't mean you never cry, never tremble, never feel lost. It means you don't let the storm convince you that you are the storm. You remain the anchor while the emotions move. You remind yourself, I am not these feelings. I am the one experiencing them, and they are leaving me. Because every time you choose grounding, you choose alignment. You show the universe and your masculine that you can hold steady even in chaos. That steadiness is what makes the field safe for him to step into. That steadiness is what transforms the purge from agony into initiation. So when the emotions rise again, don't panic. Breathe, touch the earth, find stillness, trust the process. Because grounding is not only how you survive the purge, it's how you transform it into the very bridge that carries you into union. The storm is temporary, but your grounding, that is eternal. Why purge always precedes breakthrough. Every twin flame who has walked through the fire of this journey eventually notices a pattern. The moments of deepest pain, the waves of chaos, the times when it feels like everything is collapsing, they always come right before the breakthrough. And this final purge is no different. Why does it happen this way? Why must the storm always come before the calm? Because the soul cannot carry old weight into a new reality. To step into union, you must be emptied of everything that does not belong there. Fear cannot enter union. Doubt cannot survive in union. Resentment, victimhood, illusions of abandonment, none of these frequencies can exist in the vibration of sacred love. So they must leave, and the way they leave is through the purge. This is why your emotions are so volatile right now. It's not collapse, it's cleansing. The chaos is not punishment, it's preparation. The heaviness is not rejection, it's release. The purge is the final clearing, the last refining fire, the necessary step that always comes before alignment anchors. Think about your own journey. How many times did you break down right before a breakthrough? How many times did silence feel unbearable, only for it to be followed by a surge of connection, a dream, or a synchronicity that confirmed the bond? This cycle repeats because it is spiritual law. The old must die before the new can be born. The purge is the death. The breakthrough is the birth. And the reason it feels so intense now is because this is the last purge. The final stripping. The soul is not interested in half measures anymore. That's why the emotions are raw, relentless, all-consuming, because they are leaving for good. This is also why the masculine is trembling so strongly at this stage. His external world begins to collapse. Relationships, jobs, illusions he once relied on. For him, the purge looks like endings he cannot avoid. For you, the feminine, the purge feels like internal storms that will not stop. Together, these collapses are the sign that union is approaching. Because the old world is breaking so the new one can hold. The danger, of course, is forgetting this truth. Many feminines mistake the purge for failure. They think, if I feel this much pain, maybe I've done something wrong. Maybe the journey is ending. But the opposite is true. If you are in the purge, it means you are closer than ever. The purge does not come when union is far away. It comes when union is at the door. That's why you must hold steady. If you collapse now, you prolong what is already destined. But if you surrender, if you breathe, if you trust, you accelerate the process. The purge passes faster. The breakthrough comes sooner. And here is the sacred truth. The purge and the breakthrough are not separate. They are one. The breakdown is the breakthrough. The tears are the release. The storm is the shift. What feels like the end is actually the very process that births the beginning. So when the emotions rage, remind yourself, this is proof that something new is being born. This is evidence that union is near, because purge always precedes breakthrough. It has to. It is the law of transformation. And if you are feeling it now, then know this. Your breakthrough is closer than ever. The purge is not a sign you're losing the bond. It's the sign that you're about to live it. The purge is proof of union. If you take nothing else from this message, take this. The purge you are living right now is not evidence of separation. It is evidence of union. It would be impossible for you to feel this much intensity if you were far from your counterpart. It would be impossible for your body to shake, for your chest to ache, for your dreams to be filled with him if the bond was fading. The reason the purge feels unbearable is because the connection is alive, burning, undeniable. The energy between you is too strong now to allow any shadow to remain. This is why everything is rising at once. The old fears, the grief, the anger, the exhaustion, because the field of union is pressing in. It is saying, if you want to cross into the next stage, these illusions cannot come with you. And so the purge becomes the proof, not of distance, but of closeness. Yes, it feels like breaking. Yes, it feels like collapse. Yes, it makes you question everything, but behind that intensity is truth. You are being emptied because you are about to be filled. You are being stripped because you are about to be clothed in something new. You are being undone because the bond is about to anchor in ways you've never experienced before. The purge is not the end. It is the evidence that the end of separation is near. Look at your journey. Haven't you noticed that every deep purge has always been followed by clarity? Every storm has always been followed by synchronicities, breakthroughs, signs, or dreams that reminded you the bond was real. This is no different. It's just the final round, the last clearing, the final purge before the door opens fully. And here's the paradox. The more it hurts, the closer you are. Pain is not distance. Pain is pressure, and pressure always comes right before birth. So let this be your anchor. If you are purging now, it means union is not far. It means the masculine is trembling too, in his own way. It means the field is aligning. It means the old world is collapsing so the new one can stand. The purge is proof that the universe has not forgotten you. It is proof that the bond is active. It is proof that you are already being prepared for what you have always known. Deep down, reunion is inevitable. So, beloved feminine, don't collapse into fear. Don't shame yourself for the tears, the anger, the exhaustion. See them for what they are. Evidence. Evidence that your soul is clearing the last fragments. Evidence that the field is almost ready. Evidence that love is about to anchor. This is the final message. The purge is not punishment. It is prophecy. It is not loss. It is confirmation. It is not the end of your story. It is the final chapter before union begins. You are not breaking. You are being reborn. You are not collapsing. You are crossing the threshold. You are not losing the bond. You are about to live it. The purge is proof. Proof that union is here.